News coming in on the Sheena Bora murder case. Arrested media baron Peter Mukherjee's son Rahul Mukherjea says that his father is innocent. Now the police arrested Peter Mukherjea day before yesterday, a day after the CBI filed its charge sheet in the court. One of the crucial pieces of evidence that the CBI has managed to get against Peter Mukherjea is a recording of a conversation between Rahul and Peter, where Rahul was questioning his father about Sheena Mukherjee's absence, Sheena Bora, beg your pardon's absence, telling his father that it's impossible for her to travel abroad considering that her passport is lying with him. Now, in that conversation, Peter Mukherjea is heard saying that he knows that Sheena is fine and that he himself has spoken to her. All right, Rahul Mukherjea, while speaking to reporters, said that his father Peter is innocent. Peter Mukherjea, remember, was arrested day before yesterday by the CBI for his role. He's also been booked for conspiracy to murder. He's of course also charged with hiding evidence from the police. Let's get now out from Kamlesh Sutar, who's with us live from Mumbai. Kamlesh, Rahul coming out and now saying that his father is innocent. Of course, one of the biggest pieces of evidence that the CBI has against Peter Mukherjea is that recorded conversation between Rahul and Peter, where Peter Mukherjea said that he had spoken to Sheena and that she was safe in the US.
Well, indeed, and the defense team of Peter Mukherjea yesterday did try to impress upon the court that the statement in question, Peter telling Rahul Mukherjea that in fact he has indeed spoken to Sheena in US some days back, was just said with an intention to bridge the gap between Rahul and Indrani Mukherjea, since the relationship between Rahul and Indrani had gone sour because of the fact that Indrani didn't approve of the relationship between Rahul and Sheena, and that is why he was trying to bridge the gap, and it was an unintentional lie. That is what they are trying to do. But as far as the interrogations are concerned, the CBI feels that that is an important piece of evidence for them that would perhaps help them to get to the motive or the possible role that Peter could have played in the entire mystery. Peter, whether he is involved, whether he knew, or whether he tried to conceal some
Kamlesh,
information
it's important to point
of
out
a crime that was committed. So that would...
Right, Kamlesh, it's also important to point out here that it was Rahul who handed over that audio recording to the CBI.
Indeed, now CBI has got its hand on that piece of evidence. Also, there are certain other circumstantial evidences that the CBI now would be trying to corroborate that with Indrani's statement and other two accused statements. Also, what we are learning, what the buzz is, that the car that was rented for the purpose of carrying Sheena's body allegedly to Raigad, that was hired from an agency with whom Peter was regularly in touch with, and in fact Peter was the one who helped them to hire that car. So that would also be another crucial evidences apart from the telephonic conversation that the CBI has managed to get its hands on.
Right, and Kamlesh, Peter Mukherjea has been taken into CBI custody till Monday. What happens from now onwards? Has his interrogation started?
Well, indeed, the interrogations are on for last couple of days, and till the time of the custody ends on Monday, they still have another two and a half days in their hand to interrogate Peter and get the motive, or rather the exact role what Peter played in the entire mystery. To cut it short, the focus would be only on whether Peter was aware of the crime, and if he was aware, why did he conceal, or his role is more than what meets the eye. Is it not limited only to concealment of act, but there is more role that is being played by Peter in the entire mystery. So the interrogation that will happen for another couple of days would focus on that.
Kamlesh, thanks so much for those details. We're going to keep coming back to you for more developments. Peter Mukherjee spoke to India today on the 26th of August this year. Peter's last interview before his arrest by the CBI day before yesterday.
Look, my version is very, very clear, is that, look, I am completely shocked and horrified by the information that I'm getting and by the revelations that are coming out almost by the hour, both in terms of, who Sheena Bora actually is, whether she's sister or daughter, who is Mikhail, whether he's brother or son, how many marriages Indrani has had in the past, and the entire episode of Sheena Bora going missing and being, murdered, so to speak. Well, I know of them. I've met them. There's no doubt about it. And they were introduced to me as Indrani's siblings. And so I have no reason to doubt that. When I met them, that's what they said. And there was, I was introduced as my younger sister and my younger brother. So that was how I related to them in that manner. Throughout my 15-year marriage, I have to say, I never once have met Indrani's parents, nor any other members of her family. And so, I have no contact number for her parents, never spoken to them, never met them. The only two people I've met is Sheena and Mikhail, and I was told that this is brother and sister, so I had no reason to doubt that. Some years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I had asked her this because I'd heard this theory, and I asked Indrani about it, and she completely refuted it to the extent that she said that's complete rubbish, and so please do not believe such nonsense. So I said, fine, if that's what you're saying, then as a wife, I believe you. I have no reason to go out and double check the facts or go back and do a back check or anything, because that's not what you do. She was in a relationship with my younger son, and I wasn't fully in approving sort of status of that, nor was Indrani, nor was Indrani's parents. So really the communication between us was limited to virtually nothing. Indrani would probably speak to Sheena from time to time, and I would speak to my son until that communication also stopped at that time, because there wasn't really, it was too fractious a relationship to be in a communication mode. If this is true, if this is all true and it's proved to be true, I think it is wrong of her to have done that. Of course, if it's not true and it's proved otherwise, then fair enough. But if it is true and it is proved to be so, and if for some reason she confesses and says so, then of course I'm going to be horrified and feel betrayed. When my son said this to me, it was a doubt in the back of my mind.
Yes.
But I can't say no, there wasn't a doubt. Of course, that doubt got created, and that doubt, then I put it aside because I believed my wife was speaking the truth and my son was being given information by his girlfriend. And I thought at that point that what my wife was telling me was more accurate than otherwise. I'm the one who's facing one of the biggest, the biggest shock, because I'm living with it. And it's something that I had broached with Indrani at one point after I'd heard from my son about it. I said, look, is this possible? She's, Rahul is telling me that she's your daughter. And he said, what rubbish? This is not so. So that was the end of that conversation. So there was really no any further discussion on that, because I wasn't going to, as I say, I wasn't going to go back and go, investigating behind that. Because that's not the way to lead a relationship. And so, really, there was nothing more to discuss, and it was a taboo subject. It was a taboo relationship. So we didn't really discuss it over the dining table or whatever.